All right, so now we're going to talk about these common network setups. We know a little bit about Active Directory now, so we can see how is an attacker or normal user logging in from one system to another. And so now we're going to start visualizing what that looks like from a network perspective. So I like to think about things in terms of a logical network map. So this is really the same concept. If you were just to take a large global map, lay it down flat on a desk, and you have all the different countries here, we're doing the same exact thing, but instead of countries, we have systems. And so we can look at this in such a way that when we have a small office, say in this example here, I've got three different servers. I have a domain controller, I have a file server, and then I have an application server. And then I also have a bunch of systems, user workstations, maybe it's a desktop, maybe it's some laptops. They're all sitting together, but they're all in this one office environment. And so you can overlay Active Directory here because we know they have a domain controller and it just looks like one domain, but it's one network. They're all connected together. So if we take this the next step, we can start looking at how things actually traverse the network, how data is going to traverse that network. So it's important to understand a few different definitions here. First, we have a router. At the end of the day, a router is just a networking device that connects internal systems to the internet. So the most basic thing here is just think of your home router. You have all your devices in your home environment, and you connect into your network, and then that router's role is to send that network traffic. If you're going to google.com, it's going to know how to send that information through that router and get to google.com. Now, included in that home router, there's typically this concept of a switch as well. Now, if you look inside your internal environment, a switch is really meant to connect the local systems together. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to send that information out to the internet. If it does, it's going to send that through a router. But if I need to go from one system to another in the same network, it's going to traverse through a switch. Now, we all obviously live in a mobile environment right now where we have a lot of different mobile devices. So most people are going to be connecting through some sort of wireless access point. It's the same exact idea as a switch, but instead of things being physically wired in, it's doing it over a wireless network. So again, this is the same concept as your home wireless network. It's all working together. Now, when we look at a typical office environment here, we can see how these things play together. Now, in this particular example, again, imagine we have our Active Directory overlay here, right? And so now we're looking at it from a network perspective. So we have a bunch of different servers, we have a bunch of different desktops, and we have a bunch of different wireless access points. Now, if I'm a user and I want to upload a file to the internet, I'll have that file on my system. And when I go and I click the upload button, that file is going to get broken down into things called packets, which is essentially just the transport vehicle for the information. And it's going to send that first through that switch. It's then going to send it from the switch to the router. And then it's going to send it from the router to the internet towards its eventual destination, wherever that might be. In this case, it's going to be the upload site that we're uploading this file. And then it will do the inverse if you're going to download a file. If you wanted to go and download that, it's just going to step its way back. Now, if you're looking at this from a larger office environment, we're just taking the same exact concept and expanding that out. So in this case, we got rid of the switches and the wireless access point here, and we're just looking at it from how do two offices connect together. Well, if we go back to our Active Directory example of the DC office and the UK office, we can see that all it's doing is connecting to each other via a router. So this router in the DC office, if we need to connect into a system in the UK office, it knows how to get to that other router, and then that router will then direct that traffic internally so that it can go there. All this is happening seamlessly behind the scenes. Now, you can expand this out exponentially. You can have an endless number of offices. All of these offices are going to be set up in a similar fashion where you have a router at the edge of each one, and it's going to know how to route that traffic from the DC office to the UK office to a Sydney office to a Tokyo office. All of this is configured so it's seamless to that user.